Hello friends, welcome to my lecture on winding number and maximum modulus principle. Suppose that gamma is the closed contour in the complex plane, okay, and C be a given point in C minus gamma. Okay. So, let us take a closed contour C. Okay. Let gamma be a closed contour in C, okay, and A be a given point in C minus gamma. Okay. So, this is A is any given point here, okay, which does not belong to gamma. Okay. It can be either inside gamma or it is outside gamma. For instance, let us say gamma is equal to gamma t, that is the set of all complex number z such that z minus a equal to r e to the power I t, where 0 is less than or equal to t less than or equal to 2 k pi. So, by this we are actually considering here gamma to be the circle with center at A and radius r. So, here we are considering the particular case where this A is inside the circle, okay, gamma, and the circle, the equation of the circle gamma is z minus a equal to r e to the power I t. Now, t varies from 0 to 2 k pi. This means that we are moving along gamma k times. Okay. We are taking the taking a round of the point A along gamma k times. That means, gamma encircles the point A k times in the counterclockwise direction, and further we notice that integral over gamma dz over z minus a is equal to 2 k pi I. Why? Because integral over gamma dz upon z minus a will be equal to integral over 0 to 2 k pi, and dz is equal to dz equal to r e to the power I t into I dt divided by z minus a, which is r e to the power I t. So, we will get 2 k pi I, okay, or we can say 1 over 2 pi I integral over gamma dz upon z minus a is equal to k. Okay. So, hence if gamma encircles the point A k times in the counterclockwise direction, then we are in the counterclockwise direction, then we are getting the value as k. But if gamma encircles the point A k times in the clockwise direction, okay, in the opposite direction, then we will have the value as minus k. Okay. So, here we are considering a particular case where gamma is the circle with center at the point A and the radius of gamma is r. In the general case, okay, where gamma is any closed contour, okay, we can intuitively say that the winding number is the number of times. So, this actually gives 1 over 2 pi I, okay, integral over gamma dz over z minus a, whether we are moving anti-clockwise or we are moving clockwise, it is a integer. In the anti-clockwise direction we are getting k, in the clockwise direction we are getting minus k. So, it is always an integer. Now, intuitively we can say that the winding number is the number of times gamma wraps around the point A in counterclockwise direction. Now, we have the analytic definition here of the winding number. Let gamma be any closed contour in C such that A does not belong to gamma, that is A belongs to C minus gamma. Then the index or binding number of gamma about A denoted by n gamma A is given by the integral n gamma A equal to 1 over 2 pi I integral over gamma dz over z minus a. So, this n gamma A represents the index of the closed contour gamma about the point A, or the bounding number about the point A, bounding number of gamma. Now, you can see here this is our point P, and where we are moving like this. Suppose we start from here. Okay. So, we are moving anti-clockwise, okay, about the point P, okay, twice. Okay. So, this means that n, if this is your curve gamma, okay, here we are taking it as curve C. So, n C P, okay, is equal to 2. We are moving about this point P in the anti-clockwise direction, okay, twice. So, and so index number of C, okay, index number of C about the point A. Here we have P, about the point P is equal to T, or binding number is equal to 2. Okay. Now, let us look at this point here, this is your origin suppose, okay. Then we are moving twice in the clockwise direction, okay, about the origin. So, index number is equal to minus 2 here. Here again we are moving about this point origin, let us say. So, we are moving clockwise, okay, once, and therefore, the index number is minus 1. Here we are moving anti-clockwise, but the point this 0 is outside. We are not moving in the anti-clockwise direction about the point 0, okay. It is lying outside. So, index number is 0, and here we are moving about the point 0 in the anti-clockwise direction once. So, bonding number is 1. Here we are moving about this point 0 twice in the anti-clockwise direction. So, bonding number is 2. Here we are moving 3 times, okay, in the anti-clockwise direction about this point, let us say origin. So, the bonding number is 3. Okay. Now, let us show that for every closed curve, we have earlier seen that in the case of gamma being a circle, mod of z minus a equal to r, okay, and gamma a is an integer. Okay. When we take anti-clockwise direction, it is a positive integer. When we take a clockwise direction, it is a negative integer. Now, let us prove that for every simple closed curve, okay, gamma in C, where a is a complex number, any complex number in C minus gamma, that means a does not belong to gamma, okay, and gamma is an integer. So, let us start with the proof. Let gamma be a mapping from 0 1 into C, then since gamma is a closed curve, okay, gamma 0 will be equal to gamma 1, okay. The value of gamma will coincide at 0 and 1. Now, let us define the function g t equal to integral over 0 to t gamma dash s over gamma s minus a ds. Then you can see that g 0 equal to 0, because when you put t equal to 0, the lower and upper limit of this integral will be 0. So, g 0 equal to 0, and furthermore from this definition of g, we can see that g is continuous on 0 1 interval. Further, for t belonging to 0 1 interval, g dash t is equal to gamma dash t over gamma t minus a, okay, differentiation by differentiation under the sign of integration. Now, at every point of continuity of gamma dash, let us define function h t equal to gamma t minus a e to the power minus g t, okay. Then h dash t, let us find h dash t here. H dash t equal to first it is a product of two functions of t. So, gamma dash t into e to the power minus g t plus gamma t minus a into e to the power minus g t into minus g dash t, okay. And let us go to the previous slide. G dash t equal to gamma dash t over gamma t minus a. So, g dash t into gamma t minus a equal to gamma dash t, okay. So, we have g dash t into gamma t minus a equal to gamma dash t. So, this will be equal to gamma dash t e to the power minus g t minus gamma dash t e to the power minus g t, okay. So, this cancels with this and we get 0. So, h dash t equal to 0 at every point of continuity of gamma dash. Now, since gamma is piecewise smooth, h dash t equal to 0 fails to hold only at a finite number of points in 0 1 interval. By the continuity of h, therefore, h t is a constant, let us say c, okay, some constant c in the interval 0 1. In particular, we can say that h 0 is same as h 1, okay. Now, h 0 is equal to gamma 0 minus a e to the power minus g 0, okay, and h 1 is equal to gamma 1 minus a e to the power minus G1. Okay. We know that gamma 0 is equal to gamma 1, okay, and G0 equal to 0. Okay. So, what do we get? Since gamma 0 is equal to gamma 1 and G0 equal to 0, we get H1 here. Okay. So, we get from H0 equal to H1, what we get? Gamma 0 minus A will cancel with gamma 1 minus A. Okay. What we will get? E to the power minus G0, e to power minus G0 means 1. Okay. So, e to the power minus G1 equal to 1. Okay. That is, we get this equation, and this will mean that G1 equal to 2 pi I k. Okay, for some integer k, okay, for some integer k. Okay. So, now what is G1? Let us see. G1 is equal to integral 0 to 1 gamma dash s over gamma s minus a ds. So, k is equal to 1 over 2 pi I integral over 0 to 1 gamma dash s over gamma s minus a ds. Okay. So, n gamma a, where n gamma a is this, okay, 1 over 2 pi I integral over gamma dz over z minus a. Okay, it is an integer. Okay, we are taking gamma as gamma t here, okay, or gamma s. So, from the example 1 over 2 pi I integral over gamma dz upon z minus a equal to k, where k is an integer. Okay, let us go back to the example with which we started. We had considered gamma as a circle, okay, at the point z equal to a of radius r. So, in that example we had taken gamma as mod of z minus a equal to r, that is gamma was given by z equal to a plus r e to the power I t. Okay. So, and t was varying from 0 to 2 k pi. Okay. So, gamma t was a plus gamma a plus r e raised to the power 2 pi I k t. Okay. We find that n gamma a equal to k. So, this means what? Suppose this is your point A. Okay. This is your point A, and we are getting this circle mod of z minus a equal to r. Okay. Then from here it follows that n gamma a, n gamma a, suppose n from here, from this example it follows that n equal gamma a was equal to k. So, if z is inside this circle mod of z minus a equal to r, then n gamma a is equal to k, and if z, then for that means for any z inside this circle n gamma a is equal to k, and when z is equal to z is outside. Okay. So, when mod of z minus a is less than r, n gamma a equal to k, and gamma, suppose z is outside, okay, it is not inside. Let us draw another figure. Z is here, suppose, okay, then n gamma a is equal to 0 if z lies outside, okay, mod of z minus a greater than r. So, thus the concept of binding number characterizes the interior and exterior of the closed curve gamma as follows. For the interior of gamma, okay, interior of gamma will be by interior gamma, what do we get? It is the set of all those points that do not belong to gamma, and for which n gamma z is never 0. Exterior of gamma is those points z which do not belong to gamma, and n gamma z equal to 0, because you take any z outside this circle, okay, then for that n gamma z will be equal to 0. Okay. So, if n gamma a equal to k for mod of z minus a less than r, n gamma a is equal to 0 for mod of z minus a greater than r. So, interior of gamma is the set of all those points which do not belong to z such that n gamma z. So, we can see the interior and exterior of a closed curve as by this. So, this should be n gamma a not 0 and n gamma a equal to 0. Now let us consider a closed curve gamma from A V to C. It is called positively oriented if n gamma z is greater than 0 for every z inside gamma, and is negatively oriented if n gamma z is less than. So, we can say that if gamma is a closed curve, it will be positively oriented if n gamma z is greater than 0 for every z inside gamma, and it is negatively oriented if n gamma z is less than 0 for every z inside gamma. Now, if gamma consists of finitely many closed contours gamma 1, gamma 2, gamma k in C, then for every A which do not belong to union of gamma I, okay, n gamma A is equal to n gamma 1 A plus n gamma 2 A and so on n gamma k A. Okay. That is the binding number of gamma about the point A is sum of the binding numbers of the curves gamma 1, gamma 2, gamma k about the point A. This we can easily see from the figures here. You can see here this here the gamma consists of two curves gamma 1 and gamma 2. So, n gamma about this point, let us say this is origin. So, n gamma about the point origin is n gamma 1 about the point origin and n gamma 2 about the origin. Here n gamma about the point origin is n gamma 1 about the, you can call it as gamma 1, this as gamma 2, this as gamma 3, okay, and similarly for the other curves. Okay. And this identity tells us that the binding number of n, okay, about the curve minus gamma 1. So, gamma 1 we are taking in the anti-clockwise direction, minus gamma 1 means we are going in the clockwise direction. So, binding number about the point A of the curve minus gamma 1, okay, is same as minus of binding number of gamma 1 about the point A. Okay. So, this clear. Now, let us discuss maximum modulus principle. Maximum modulus principle is a powerful tool to obtain an explicit estimate for the size of the absolute value of an analytic function. Since C is not an ordered field, we can consider the maximum minimum values of the modulus of the complex function. Okay. So, let us consider, say for example, f z equal to e to the power z. Okay. Then if you take the closed circular disk mod z less than or equal to r, okay, let us consider the closed circular disk mod of z less than or equal to r, then maximum value of mod of e to the power z, okay, over this closed circular disk mod of z less than or equal to r is e to the power r, and it is attained at the point z equal to r. This is, okay, here z is equal to r. So, it is attained on the boundary of the closed circular disk. Okay. Now, let us see how we get this maximum value. Mod of f z is equal to mod of e to the power z, which is equal to mod of e to the power x plus I y. So, this is mod of e to the power x into e to the power I y, and then mod of e to the power x into mod of e to the power I y gives us e to the power x is always positive when x is, because x is real. So, this is e to the power x, and mod of e to the power I y is mod of cos y plus I sin y. So, that is equal to 1. So, mod of f z is equal to e to the power x. Now, for this circle mod of z equal to r, okay, x varies from minus r to plus r. Okay. So, when mod of z is less than or equal to r, minus r is less than or equal to x, less than or equal to r. Okay. So, and e to the power x is an increasing function of x. So, this is less than or equal to e to the power x r whenever minus r is less than or equal to x, less than or equal to r. Okay. So, mod of, so this is valid for all z, okay, such that mod of z is less than or equal to r. So, maximum value of mod of f z when mod of z is less than or equal to r is less than or equal to e to the power r. Now, let us show that there is a point satisfying mod of z less than or equal to r where mod of f z is equal to exactly e to power r, and that is this, that is the point z equal to r. So, at z equal to r we get mod of f z equal to mod of e to the power z equal to e to the power r. Mod of e to the power r is e to the power r, because e to the power r is always positive. So, there is a point z equal to r where mod of fz becomes e to the power r. So, maximum value of mod of fz when mod of z is less than or equal to r, okay, is definitely greater than mod of fr, okay, and mod of fr is e to the power r. So, what do we notice? Maximum value of mod of fz when mod of z is less than or equal to e to power r, and here mod of maximum value of mod of fz when mod of z is less than or equal to r is greater than or equal to e to power r, and thus maximum value of mod of fz when mod of z is less than or equal to r is e to the power r, and we can see that e to power at r, the maximum value of mod of fz is attained on the boundary of mod of z less than or equal to r. Now, if you take fz equal to cos z, okay, then cos z is equal to e to the power iz plus e to the power minus iz divided by 2, okay. So, mod of cos z is less than or equal to mod of e to the power iz plus mod of e to the power minus iz divided by 2, and this is equal to mod of e to the power I times x plus iy plus mod of e to the power minus I times x plus iy divided by 2. So, here what do we get? This is e to the power ix into e to the power I square y means minus y. So, mod of e to power ix is equal to 1, and so this is e to the power minus y, and here we get e to power minus ix whose modulus is 1, and then we get e to power minus I square y which is e to power y. So, e to the power minus y plus e to the power y divided by 2, which is cos hyperbolic y, okay, and cos hyperbolic y is an increasing function of y, and here what is happening is that for mod of z less than or equal to r, y also varies from minus r to plus r, okay. So, minus r less than or equal to y less than or equal to r. So, this is less than or equal to cos hyperbolic r, okay. You can easily see that cos hyperbolic y is an increasing function, because cos hyperbolic y is e to the power y plus e to the power minus y by 2, okay, and when you differentiate cos hyperbolic y, you get e to the power y minus e to the power minus y divided by 2, which is nothing but e to the power 2 y minus 1 divided by 2, this, okay. Cos hyperbolic y is this function, okay, it is an even function, right. So, at y equal to 0, cos hyperbolic y takes value 1. So, it is like this, okay, and so it is a symmetric function about this y, okay. Cos hyperbolic minus y is equal to cos hyperbolic y. So, when we consider cos hyperbolic y, we need to consider the values of y, positive values of y. For the negative values of y, its graph is the same when it is, because it is symmetric. So, it takes the same values as it takes for positive values of y. So, e to the power 2 y minus 1 over 2 e to the power y is always greater than or equal to 0 when y is greater than or equal to 0, okay. So, it is an increasing function of y. So, e to the power minus y plus e to the power y divided by 2 is greater than is an increasing function is increasing function for all values of y. So, cos hyperbolic y is less than or equal to cos hyperbolic r. So, what we have, maximum value of mod of cos z when mod z is less than or equal to r is less than or equal to cos hyperbolic r, and then what you do, you take now you want to show that maximum value of mod of cos z when mod z is less than or equal to r is greater than or equal to cos hyperbolic r, okay. So, for that you need to consider z equal to IR. If you take z equal to IR, then cos IR is equal to e to the power minus r plus e to the power r divided by 2, that is cos hyperbolic r. You can also consider z equal to minus IR. If z equal to minus IR, then also cos z equal to cos I r equal to e to the power I square r. So, e to the power minus r plus e to the power r divided by 2, and both these points minus I r, okay, and I r, okay, whether this point you take or you take this point, for both the points cos z takes the maximum value e to the power r plus e to the power minus r by 2, and these are the points here. This is z equal to I r, this is z equal to minus I r. Okay. So, maximum value of mod of cos z for mod z greater than or equal, mod of z less than or equal to r will always be greater than or equal to the value of mod of cos z at z equal to I r or z equal to minus I r, which is cos hyperbolic r. So, maximum value of mod of cos z when mod z is less than or equal to r is equal to cos hyperbolic r. Okay. So, we go to now this maximum modulus theorem. Let D be a bounded domain and suppose that f z is analytic and non-constant in D and continuous on the boundary of D. Then the absolute value of mod of f z attains its maximum value on the boundary of D, as we have seen in the case of f z equal to e to power z and f z equal to cos z, that their maximum values in the case of e to power z it is e to power r, it is attained at the boundary point z equal to r, while in the case of cos z the maximum value of mod of cos z is attained at the points z equal to I r and z equal to minus I r, which lie on the boundary of mod of z less than or equal to r. So, let us prove this. Since f z is continuous inside D and on the boundary of D. On the boundary of D we are given that it is continuous, in the inside D it follows from the analyticity. Okay. So, since f z is continuous inside D and on the boundary of D, it follows that mod of f z must assume its maximum value for some z inside R on the boundary of D by the continuity. Now, let us suppose that mod of f z attains its maximum value at an interior point. Okay. So, we are assuming that it actually we have to prove that it assumes its maximum value on the boundary of D, but here we want to prove it by contradiction method. So, we are assuming that it assumes its maximum value at a point interior to D, okay, and that point let us say be equal to A. So, that is mod of f a equal to m. Since f z is not constant, we are assuming that f z is non-constant. Okay. So, mod of f z is also not constant, okay, and consequently we can find a circle C of radius r. So, let us say suppose this is your domain, okay, D, A is a point here, we can construct a circle. Now, f mod of f a we are assuming to be equal to maximum value m is the maximum value of mod of f z for all z in D. Okay. So, maximum value of mod of f z we are assuming that it occurs at the point A. Okay. So, mod of f a equal to m, and since f z is not constant, mod of f z is also will not be constant. So, we can find a circle C. Let us construct a circle C here. Okay. Construct circle C of radius r. Let us say this radius is r, okay, with center at A such that the interior of C is in D. The curve lies C, curve lies is completely inside D, and mod of f z is smaller than m at some point B of C. Okay. So, there is some point B on the curve C such that mod of f z is smaller than m, because m this is the maximum value. So, there and it is not constant. So, it will have to happen that there will be some point, okay, and on the curve C at which mod of f z is smaller than m. So, since mod of f z is continuous, it will be smaller than m on an now f z is continuous. So, mod of f z is continuous. So, there will be an arc of the circle C, okay. Let us call that arc as C1, which contains B, and such that mod of f z is less than or equal to m minus epsilon for all z on C1. So, there will be some part of this curve C which we can call as C1, which contains the point B, and for which mod of f z is less than or equal to m minus epsilon. Okay. So, this is the curve C, okay. This is the curve C, and we have taken this arc, okay. This is my point B, okay, z equal to B here. Okay. And this is z naught is A actually, z naught is A. We are taking the curve C with center at z center at A. So, z naught in this figure is actually A, and the arc C1 of the circle C contains the point B, and mod of Fz is less than or equal to m minus epsilon, okay, where epsilon is greater than 0, okay, for all z on C1. Okay. Now, so let us say C1 has length L1, the complementary arc C2, okay, the complementary arc C2 then will have length 2 pi r minus L1, okay. So, m is equal to mod of Fa then less than or, because Fa is given by Cauchy integral formula 1 over 2 pi I integral over C Fz over z minus a dz, okay. So, mod of Fa will be less than or equal to, this will imply mod of Fa, this is equal to 1 over 2 pi integral over C mod of integral over C Fz dz divided by z minus a, okay. So, and then we can break it into two parts, this is less than or equal to 1 over 2 pi mod of integral over C1 plus integral over C2, okay. So, okay, with the integrand being Fz over z minus a, okay. So, integral over C1 Fz over z minus a plus integral over C2 Fz over z minus a, okay, like this. So, 1 over 2 pi, now the mod of Fz over z minus a on the curve C1, okay, on the curve C1 is less than or equal to m minus epsilon over r, because the circle C is having center at A and radius r. So, mod of z minus a is equal to r on C1, okay, and on C1 mod of Fz is less than or equal to m minus epsilon. So, m minus epsilon over r into length of C1. So, length of C1 is L1, and then here mod of Fz is less than or equal to m, okay, because m is the maximum value, okay. So, m and then mod of z minus a equal to r, length of C2 is 2 pi r minus L1. So, when you simplify this, what you get is m minus epsilon into L1 divided by 2 pi r, okay, because this is, if you multiply, what you get, m L1, okay, by r minus epsilon L1 divided by r, okay, and here what we get here, m 2 pi m, okay, minus m L1 by r. So, this cancels with this, okay, and we get 1 over 2 pi times minus epsilon L1 over r. So, this is m minus epsilon L1 by 2 pi r. Now, definitely this quantity is less than m, because epsilon L1 over 2 pi r is a positive quantity. So, what we get, m is less than m, okay, which is impossible, and therefore, mod of Fz attains its maximum value on the boundary of D. Now, we can easily prove the minimum modulus theorem from the maximum modulus theorem. Suppose that Fz is analytic in a bounded domain D and continuous on the boundary of D. If Fz is not equal to 0 in D, then mod of Fz attains its minimum value on the boundary of D. So, suppose that if Fz is not equal to 0 in D, then let us suppose that we consider the function 1 over Fz, okay. So, then 1 over Fz is analytic in D, and hence by the maximum modulus theorem 1 over Fz will assume its maximum value on the boundary of D, and when 1 over Fz is maximum on the boundary of D, mod of Fz is attaining its minimum value on the boundary of D. Let us say, for example, Fz equal to z square minus 3z plus 2, okay. We need to find the maximum value of Fz, okay, mod of Fz when mod of z is less than or equal to 1. So, mod of Fz is equal to mod of z square minus 3z plus 2, which is less than or equal to mod of z square plus 3 times mod of z plus 2, okay, and which is less than or equal to 1 plus 3 plus 2, okay, when mod of z is less than or equal to 1. So, this is equal to 6, okay. So, maximum of mod of Fz when mod of z is less than or equal to 1 is less than or equal to 6. Now, we notice that at z equal to 1, z equal to minus 1, okay, z equal to minus 1, fz becomes equal to 6. So, maximum value of mod of fz when mod of z is less than or equal to 1 is greater than or equal to mod of f minus 1, okay, because minus 1 lies on the unit circle. Okay, this is mod of z equal to 1. So, this is minus 1 here. Okay. So, when you take z equal to minus 1, it satisfies the inequality mod of z less than or equal to 1, and so the maximum value of mod of fz when mod z get less than or equal to 1 will always be greater than mod of f minus 1, but this gives you minus 1 square minus 3 into minus 1 plus 2, which is equal to 6. So, maximum value of mod of fz when mod z is less than or equal to 1 is greater than or equal to 6, and thus this is equal to 6. Okay. This is equal to 6, which is attained, maximum value is attained at the boundary, that is at the point z equal to minus 1 of mod z equal to 1. Okay. With that, I would like to end my lecture. Thank you very much for your attention.